let's pay attention to the Agbogbloshie markets, an area, and the TUC also market, the one behind the Cocoa Board. That market area failed to observe any form of social distancing, any form of shift system. I don't know. I understand that there is no Queen Mother in that area, and so there is no rule at all. And when the day was over, these market women took to the evening in the dark to conduct the market activities with torchlights, amongst others. Let us please respect ourselves over there.
Yeah, Reginald, it's true. And we went there for quite some, a number of reports to be done concerning social distancing protocol, and then also whether they were aware of the directives that had been given, like wearing a mask, washing your hands, and then all that. And we realized that, like you just mentioned, they were not perturbed about it. As if there was nothing going on. And so policemen who were present at a point got to that point of caning them and seizing some of their goods. And we took coverage of it anyway. But speaking to the authorities from the police station, the man mentioned, or the police officer mentioned that he was not going to risk the lives of his men in that market, because it looked like they had done everything within their power to be able to educate these people and make sure they were being protected, but they didn't see that coming from them.
They were adamant
that they were not willing to be protected, and so he said he was not going to risk the lives of his policemen there. But I know that I think that it is our duty, or it is their duty, to enforce these laws to be and directives to be taken.
Exactly. I think it was sad for the policeman to have said that, the police officer in charge, because
send men to the market.
Exactly. One of the primary duties of policemen is to protect lives, and so you protect lives even at the risk of the person you're protecting. Sometimes you have to save people from their own selves, and so it was unfortunate for the policeman to have said that this is your duty.
When they were killing them, I understood that, okay, as human beings, we have gotten to that point that before we'll be able to abide by simple rules, sanctions and then punishments will have to come to us before we take simple instructions. And so at a point, I was happy. But another thing, or another thought again came, and I said, well, we can do it in another way. Maybe, like you said, there's no Queen Mother to the place, or there's no president heading them, and so they are doing anything at all. These people respect their leaders a lot. There are neighboring markets close to them who have presidents and have Queen Mothers. People are paying monies to some organizations among the markets. Why are they not coming forward to have the education done for them?
So let's pay attention to that area. It's not just about the markets alone. When people have to queue for vehicles, especially people going to the cars, was the Okwasses and all that, they have to queue in these areas. In fact, not just queue, crowd up in these areas, clamor in that area just to get hold of vehicles which have now become scarce in the system. Yet we have metro mass transit buses, we have Ayalulu buses that are sitting idle, unattended to, and we are in a country, our tax monies are used to procure these things, and then they come in and then they sit down as white elephants while we stand by the roadside and suffer for the things that we pay for. Suffer for the things that we suffer to pay for. Hello? Are we living in a country? Do we have heads? Do we have institutions working? Anyways, let's go into the new crusading guide. CSIR writes to the new crusading guide over Pinto Herbal, and the story is on page 6 of the new crusading guide. And elsewhere, ACUP sets record straight on Ghana gas. The story is on pages 8 and 9 of the new crusading guide. Clearing agents worried as goods locked at Tema ports. Clearing agents worried as goods locked at Tema ports. Suspend mass church activities. Chiriabusum admonish church leaders. Read it. Anyways, current voters register unfit for purpose. Current voters register unfit for purpose. That is by the Dankwa Institute. Anyways, the story is on pages 3 and 10 of the new crusading guide. Now let's go on to the back page, and that's a look of the front page. Let's open in there, like I say, the front page of the back page, where some sports crusade. Odion Igalo, Manchester United extend strikers loan to January. That would be January 2021. Juventus sets sight. Now, mentioning 2021 brings me to, some 6 weeks ago, when there were quotations and pronunciations that by June, but by the grace of God, June is here, and we are smiling. Juventus sets sights on Douglas Costa swap with Thomas Partey. Elsewhere, La Liga, Barcelona to resume title defense against Real Mallorca on 13th June. And that would sum it for the new Crusading Guide. Grab a copy for yourself.
Quickly jumping on to another daily, the Daily Statesman on page 2. Around churches and mosques will be closed down. Government cautions, and the Minister for Information, Honorable Kojo Ponkroma. And today in the press briefing, of course, we'll be hearing the sanctions that will be given to these errant churches and mosques who will not abide by directives given on the easing up of restrictions. Also on page 3, Obiamo urges electorate to ignore anti-new voters register campaigners. The big one here on page 2, EC lied to Supreme Court in 2012. DI takes on Charlotte to say Mahama over voters register illegalities. And this is the front page of the Daily Statesman. The back page says George Floyd's death, Michael Jordan truly pained and plain angry, in quote. And also Odion Igalo, Manchester United extends strikers loan to January, and it's some said for the Daily Statesman.
Now, the Business and Financial Times, Africa's leading provider of business information, the BFT, yes, interesting one from Let's She Go or Let's He Go. Anyways, that's I don't know if it's a company name. Let's She Go or Let's She Go or Let's
Reggie said no. Mention.
All right. Now, the important thing here is that they're advocating for the stop or spread calm and not fear, stop stigmatization, which is very, very important. And so kudos to you, Leshego, if I'm getting that right. Now, let's speak on the headlines. Now, in banking, there is a note on the future of banking. It says, enter new normal, exit the crisis. I think this is a great move. Enter the new normal and move away from the crisis. Indeed, when you refuse to accept the new normal, it means that you're living in the crisis, and perhaps you should change the way you think and the way you do the things that you do. People do not like change. Yes, human beings, we are a bit, shaky about change. But yes, if you do not change, you do not progress, you do not grow. To grow, you need to change, you need to shed. And so let's exit the crisis and enter the new normal. Now, a feature here is on the GSE, the Ghana Stock Exchange, and says how the banks have performed in the last 5 years. How the banks have performed in the last 5 years. That story is on page 22 of the BFT. In banking, again, CalBank supports 4 major hospitals with PPE. CalBank supports 4 major hospitals with PPE. A story on page 2, as continued from the front page of the BFT. Now, in mining, government urged to provide exploration incentives. Government urged to provide exploration incentives. That is from the Chamber of Mines Advocates. Now, in maritime, ICOMS to take off, but some clearing agents dissatisfied with the operations. The story is on page 2 of the BFT. Now, another story here seems to be the big one. Agric can attract big investors if government, 2 pointers here, addresses land litigation issues. And then secondly, invest in agric-linked infrastructure. Invest in agric-linked infrastructure. And the story is on page 3 of the BFT. Something tickling your fancy, Anastasia?
We've been educating people on how to wear a mask and what not to do. I just saw Auntie Lizzie doing something.
Oh, Auntie Lizzie,
I have to
hello.
give her fans.
Swag off, Auntie Lizzie. Anyways,
Lizzie police.
post COVID-19, banks urged to go digital to build resilience and sustainable growth. Banks urged to go digital to build resilience in sustainable growth. Now, Toyota unveils new Corolla and Agea cars. Toyota unveils new Corolla and Agea cars. And elsewhere, Prudential Bank appoints new board chairperson and directors. And that sums it for the BFT, Africa's leading provider of business information.
Away from business, let's do some stories from the Chronicles, Spear of the Nation, Kondo Sizwe, and the True Independence, the last but not least newspaper on our table. And pages 2, 3, and 12 had details of the story. It says, trichlorcarbon in camel soap harmful. PZ Cousins Ghana Limited admits, in quote, is a material of concern.
What was it?
Trichlorcarbon.
That is trichlorcarbon.
Carbon.
Yes, I don't know how and why the Chronicle captured it as carbon. It's trichlorcarbon. It's a an antibacterial chemical that used to be very dominant in soaps. Then times any soap you buy had it, but at a point they had to relinquish the trichlorcarbon because of allergic reactions. Okay. And so it is not that harmful, but there are allergic reactions to some people who use this chemical. And so as best, you should just avoid it at all, because anything that is harsh to the skin can have a diverse effect in the near future, which is why I think the concern is there. But let's get it right. Trichlorcarbon, sometimes known as TCC. TCC, yes. Yeah. My science knowledge is very up to date. Oh my God. Yeah, me and Taiwan. Water. Forward. All
right, so you got a copy of the Chronicle. You can read further into this particular story. And also, debate on use of voter card needless. DI, aside some other concerns they've raised on, Mahama and Charlotte says illegalities with the voters register, and they've brought up with this one as well. Also, in response to something that was written, it says Odiko of Gomwa Ekwam Krom takes a man cradle title from Tridan family. Let's sign. Ready?
Boko.
Come on,
Nana Boko.
Okay, let's synergize to fight COVID-19. GJA President, Mr. Afil Money. And this is with regards to the donation of PPEs to frontline media workers, and to the GJA.
Yeah, there are media health workers as well. Baby nurse and baby nurse media health worker.
Too.
Yes, she's a health worker and she's a media health worker.
All right. Elsewhere,
health matters as well.
Yes, vessel tracker breaks down, states can't afford 17k euros repairs. And the front page of the Chronicle newspaper is here. The back page with sports, Jermaine FA to sanction players who supported justice for George Floyd. Brescia to release extends Man United loan to January. The quotation for the day, James chapter 4 verse 17. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it's a sin for them. James chapter 4 verse 17. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. Amen.
Amen. I think
this is my house mistress's favorite quotation. Anytime we have a midweek service in the house, immediately she mentions James 4. You know what is
exactly. I was about to say something about the chapter James 4. It speaks about submission and obedience to command, and so there is a James 4:6 says that God opposes the proud and gives grace to the humble. And not far from that is chapter verses
4:17.
4:17. You know, there is something in line with obedience to command.
In English, she doesn't like that one. She'll come with a tree Bible and say it in tree because
exactly.
she will be
typical. Exactly.
Your name, Papa. Now one, you know, Bonnie. Of course, maybe she has seen or realized that someone has done something bad in the house and she's attacking the person, but we'll do it with the Bible. Before.
Exactly. So this quotation was taught me by my very mother, my auntie, my mentor, my supervisor, my godmother, my plenty things, Auntie Eunice Akuye Adi inside the United States of America, and she always watches me on Adoatv on YouTube, and so you wouldn't want to miss out as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you wouldn't miss out on shows and important updates, breaking news amongst others that we come up with. A very good morning to you, Angel Diba inside Konongo, who always makes it a point to watch, and she watches so much that now she's become a part of Adoatv. If I am not here, if Reginald Robertson is not here, if Anastasia Badru is not here, she calls to check up Adena Weyamba, and that's a good fan. And to all our fans and to all our viewers out there, we love you so much. I kept on sticking and staying with us. A very good morning to you, Auntie Lizzie Police Yeri. God bless you so much. Yeah, and Frankie Inumo, and to all technical guys, Jonathan, my brother Joshua and all the exactly. Henry, one of these days I'll buy you the cocoa that you bought for me, the one that made me sleep, so that you can also sleep and relax more. You are doing
your sound will boost.
This is AM Ghana. Interesting stuff going on here. We'll go for a quick detour. When we come back, my brother Simon from the camps of the NPP is standing by to take us through the newspapers, and we'll have some discussion in the newspaper review segment. Anastasia Badu will be taking her exit. Say bye-bye to our viewers, and you won't come back again.
And so at this point, we will be saying bye-bye to you. You know, we see me. I'm not going to come back here again on the set, but of course you're going to see me tomorrow, because at 9 a.m. we're preparing to go to the Ministry of Information for the Minister's press briefing on updates on COVID-19 as directed by the President and also some other stakeholders, especially on education. We're looking forward to some measures that will be put in place for those who will be going back to school, especially the final year students for the university, the junior high schools and the senior high schools. One question someone was asking is that why are the crèche guys or ladies not added to it? Because they also graduated from lower school too.
It's very interesting.
We are looking forward to the Minister of Education, to Mr. Honorable Matthew Puku-Prempeh, to give us some measures or some outlines as to how these things are going to accompany for this face mask. Thank you. We're going on a quick turn. When we come back, newspaper review segment is next.
Right.
Borges extra virgin olive oil, best for salad dressing. A little of Borges classic olive oil will make delicious meals. Borges with garlic, excellent for your girls. Make your meals healthy with Borges.
I maintain a healthy life with Borges olive oil.
Borges olive oil, the very best always.
Numun supan na wanya pomuden. Se wo ba numun so a, hwe woni se eye mega purified mineral water. Eye nso a yeto ni baby pa. Asaso ni so se kroje. Se wonya mega purified mineral water bogu ubu a, wo see you manumun supa. Mega mineral water de edanso. Esan say the modern technology so na ye. Ede na nkabia ni atri. Mega purified mineral water. Bacteria na mhenu aberem. Eye very hygienic. Obia di wadanse. Mega mineral water neatly packaged for 500 ml bottles mu. Na wani boswa na ukon donsio. Wobanya Migo purified mineral water to bebia. To phone call Dodowa Amount Frotipa Junction. Ana fre 050-7055-409. Ana 055-392-1088. Migo purified mineral water. Akona kono.
John, wo fini new. Wow, ebe ye fe, edi wabwe juma. I check roofing na, o ye fe wankasa from Asatek. Oh, na say mo roofing sheets aba bebre nice keke. Why na catch you? Asatek roofing sheet dey, enye nice keke o. With the board dance wa eche yie, enwe na che. Na won colors ahodo fe bebre. No mo new free roofing sheet no dey. Who hear that we bia o. Na so the board dance wa ejire so pampe. Utumi so chiro mo se ne ope roofing sheet no. We try the sama pepepe. Mama po Asatek money there. One ma technical advice na estimate free or professional installers nso a your on-site installation. Ne boss kura da pa. Oh yes, quality and ne da feminine. Asatek 5 days pay na wonsa kan order. Na wo ye after sales service papa binso. Hwehwe Asatek Watema Community 2, Meridian Road, Ebenkoko Board Warehouse, Western Region. So Asatek Takrade Anaji, Yeni Princeland Hotel and the Shinimu. And the Volta Region, Yawo Akachi South District Assembly Kwano Suha.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
And that's what you're saying. Now, Jackson mixture, more in the soup.
Da bread malaria, near would you be privy? Ah, hey, Jackson mixture near ocean, one room, what you are. No, I'm young, Wapas, chicken one. Jackson mixture, Jackson mixture, Jackson mixture, so and Vanya grow.
Malaria and Quadia, no Yaxen mixer. Now, bet yes, King Kane. They won't any more about food, about my flower. About flower when you feel you and no murdering. Jackson have a mister only size.
Gatlin got away brilliantly and he's ahead of the field at the moment. That's Bolt going very near. Comes Usain Bolt. And the Blazers win the series.
Join me, Samuel Kusi Apia, every Monday at 8 p.m. on Adoatv as I bring you good things from the world of sports.
One peswa ho no mono eho etisenye brodon so ho awoten eho so etisenye o memuna nkasa woten no eho so etisen eni insembidiko insembi editie timemufo etipentokwato santen kwoto aba wo hwe ne mo kwan se aka kendifo wo beyi won ebetumi aboa amomman no etumi etumpon eso akendifo ebegidwa no etena so a na chese sebia oso timemufo to a wotua no wode wasa wonsrem insembidiko insembi editie we intine ho behia se memende biada wobrabo nonkron ewo wudon no so sei ken woni me ebedi ehia ewo Adoatv kasafidie so wobra ye to nsa afra manyofo a wode amanyosemo akoten wona biahye wonim di ankasa etwetwe nkomo wobra ye to nsa afam umra hye bedwem ni no mesini kracho wo honom ebetutu na no na achesen sema edika editie no ya toto ho sere ene abasa e wo kasefidi eso me a mate ne dwemu edijimedi ho chia me edi amede so ene political baby face.
Ago, good people of Ghana. Here are some safety measures on prevention of coronavirus. 1. Cover your mouth with tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of tissue into a bin immediately you cough into it and wash your hands with soap and the running water. Avoid shaking hands and use sanitizers as often as you can. Signs and symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, sneezing, and difficulty in breathing. Should you experience any of these, or for more inquiries, please contact 0558 439 868. That's 0558 439 868. Or call 0509 497 700. That's 0509 497 700.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and the running water.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and partners.
John, ufi new. Wow, edi wabwejuma. I check roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatek. Oh, na Simon, roofing is about bebre nice keke. Why na catch you? Asatek roofing sheet there. Any nice keke with the bodan swa a cheye and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair bebre. No one free roofing sheet no dear. Who near that will be out. Now so the bodan swa a year supampe. What means to trauma send your open roofing sheet no. You try the salmon pepe. Mama po Asatek money there. One of technical advice na estimate free or professional installers so aware your on-site installation. Oh yes, quality and never da feminine. Asatek 5 days pay na unsa can order na we year after sales service proper binso. Hwehwe Asatek Watema Community 2 Meridian Road Ebenkoko Board Warehouse Western Region. So Asatek Watakrade Anaji yene Princeland Hotel and di hwene mu and a Volta Region yawo Akachi South District Assembly kwan so ha.
Go, good people of Ghana. Here are some safety measures on prevention of coronavirus. 1. Cover your mouth with tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of tissue into a bin immediately you cough into it and wash your hands with soap and the running water. Avoid shaking hands and use sanitizers as often as you can. Signs and symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, sneezing, and difficulty in breathing. Should you experience any of these, or for more inquiries, please contact 0558 439 868. That's 0558 439 868. Or call 0509 497 700. That's 0509 497 700.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and the running water.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and partners.
Borges extra virgin olive oil, best for salad dressing. A little of Borges classic olive oil will make delicious meals. Borges with garlic, excellent for your girls. Make your meals healthy with Borges.
I maintain a healthy life with Borges olive oil.
Borges olive oil, the very best always.
Numun supan na wanya pomuden. Sa wo banum nso a, hwe hu ni se eye Migo purified mineral water. Eye nso a yetu ni baby pa. Asaso ni so se kroje. Sa wonya Migo purified mineral water bogu ubu a, wo see you manum nsupa. Migo mineral water de edanso. Esan say the modern technology so na ye. Ede na nkabia ni atri. Migo purified mineral water. Bacteria na mhenu aberem. Eye very hygienic. Obia di one dance here. Migo mineral water neatly packaged with 500 ml bottle bottles mu. Na wani boswa na wokɔ donsio. Wobenya Migo purified mineral water to bebia. To phone call Dodowa Amount Tipa Junction. And now for 050-7055-409 and now 055-392-1088. Migo purified mineral water. Akona kono.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Indeed, you could have been anywhere, but we are grateful that you decided to spend time with us on Adoatv Television AM Ghana. Yes, and here we give you nothing but the best information like I promised you. We are joined in by two fine gentlemen for the purpose of the newspaper review segment. As I indicated, Mr. Simon Asiedu from the NPP is here with us, and Reverend Nketia is also here with us. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome to the newspaper review segment. Nketia, last week you were here. Mr. Asiedu, you were here as well. So today we're going to go in the same line, have a meaningful conversation. I believe you gentlemen are always interested in educating and giving out information, and so we'll have that meaningful conversation. Before we go on, let me indicate this. We are on your digital television stations now. We are on your digital platforms now. Yes, until you have every reason to cheer. And you at home, you have every reason to cheer up. For a long time now, you've been asking, now we are there. We are there. No more complaints. Take your TV remote, rescan your digital television, and boom, we are there. Adoatv Television channels 37 and 38 of your digital television, and we're streaming. We've not stopped. That doesn't mean that we are stopping our streaming and our satellite television presence. That gives us access to about 24 African countries, and even in some parts of the United Kingdom and the United States, you can still grab Adoatv Television if you're using a cable or satellite. And so this is where to be. Let me say a very, very, very happy birthday to my daughter, my trainee, my good friend Paula Padiki Ologo. Today is your birthday, and wherever you are, I pray the Lord's mercies and favor upon you. We are hoping to see you a waka with some goodies for the people. I mean, you can't celebrate alone. Good morning to you, Reginald Robertson, who is observing all the way from your official duties inside town. God bless you as you do more exploits for us. Good morning to Deputy Director, Mr. Cyril Jones Okai, who has held us down from COVID-19 times right up until now, taking the mantle of leadership. I've known you to do this for a very long time, all the way back and you're still doing your leadership thing. Kudos and good morning to you. Now, gentlemen, let's come on to the substantial matter for the day. Now, in the Ghanaian Times, the most authoritative newspaper, there is a caption: "Don't rush to open churches. The clergy urges restraint." Do not rush to open churches. Clergy urges restraint. And so I believe that you're building up concerns on this way. I know you have your personal concerns. The story is on page 13. It's all about the easing of COVID-19 restrictions, as we saw the president do around 10 p.m. on Sunday. Obviously, we heard him easing restrictions, and according to the president, this is going to be done in phases. And so phase 1 to commence on Friday for churches or religious bodies, that is the churches, the mosques, alike. Interestingly, the traditional religion was not very strict, and you can see the guys already going on about their madumo and other things, rituals like that. They've not been restricted. I don't know if they have, but I think they've been going on. So for Christian Muslims, yes, it begins from Friday. President,
yes, sir.
Will you go to church on Sunday?
I will not go to church on Sunday.
You will not go to church on Sunday? Yes. After this long walk, you will not go to church. Why?
I will not go to church on Sunday because I have some few activities at the farms.
Oh, okay.
I'll be at the farms this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I'll not be at church. I should be truthful to God.
Very well.
And to man.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But
I believe that
the family will be there.
Yes, they will represent you at church. Indeed. What have you missed about going to church?
Oh, what I've really missed about church itself is about the motivational and the inspirational way that my pastor really goes about his duties.
Where do you fellowship?
I fellowship with the Itiren Mission.
Oh, okay.
Itiren Mission.
The headquarters, Dansoma and Sakama. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's a very special and a unique personality. And the way he comes out with his message is really deep. Right. Even though we've been having the virtual church service on the TV, on our net and systems, it's not always the same like having the physical presence. So that's the only thing I would say I miss, his physical presence.
Right. So you miss the fellowship. The fellowship. That you share with the congregation, your fellow people in the church.
Exactly.
That is it. So luckily, the president has eased some of these restrictions. At least you see about 99 of your friends at church when you resume. It's unfortunate you wouldn't be going, but I believe that from next week you would resume church. That is if farm activities are fine for now. Ajan Ketia,
yes, sir.
You are a reverend minister.
Yes, sir.
What have you missed about the church itself, as in the temple?
So many.
I see you're sentimental about this.
I've really missed church. I've really missed my church members. Then they've really also missed me very well. Really missed me very well. You know, my church is seated at a place where I have a catchment members around.
Oh, okay. So your church members do not live far from the temple.
Very
itself.
good. So I most often visit them.
Oh, okay.
In some occasions, and then when you go and you talk to them, they have really missed church service.
I see.
The way we pray, the way sermons is being delivered, and the way we conduct, some pastors, you can't even get closer to them. But I allow my church members get closer to me, talk to me, and then you see that kind of
thing.
In
other words, you don't have bodyguards?
No. I don't.
Oh, okay. You're not one of those pastors.
I'm not ready for those bodyguards.
Yeah, okay.
The Lord is my protector, is my security, everything He has showed around me, so I don't need those things. So there are a lot of complaints, The most effect is their business. Most of them be on their own to pray. They sometimes find it difficult, but when we come together and we pray, they love it more. So as the church activities has it has affected their source of finances, their spiritual life one, and their source of finance, their business. That's the complaint I'm getting, that it has affected their business.
How is that? Church business?
No, what, you know, the more you pray, the more you are being strengthened and being protected with your business and your finances.
Right.
So now they have seen the clear indication as the impact of the church. And you know, those times they were thinking like we were forcing them, like come to church, come. They think
so you
like
believe that now people have really realized the import of church and church activities?
Exactly that.
Wow.
They have really drawn the line to see that it wasn't a mere just calling and inviting them to come, but what we were doing was having impact on their life. Their business has gone down, their finances has gone down. So they are also which Monday will come so that we start that intensive prayer that we have been doing, which has been helping us. Right. So these are some of the things that.
That notwithstanding, some clergy have urged restraint about the opening of churches. They say don't rush to open churches. I want to do a quick read into it and know exactly what the concerns of these religious entities, the clergy, are urging. Now, the Christian Council of Ghana is advising its members. So it's the Christian Council of Ghana. Ejan Ketia, do you belong to the council? It's advising?
Yeah, I belong to the Ghana Pentecostal Charismatic Church.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But I believe that all these religious institutions fall under the Christian Council. That is the Christian...
Yeah, that's the bigger body.
The bigger body, right. So the Christian Council of Ghana is advising its members to exercise restraint in the reopening of churches. Following government's partial ease of restrictions on social gatherings to control the surge of the coronavirus cases. So the chairman of the council, the Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena-Boafo, speaking in an interview with the Ghanaian Times yesterday, insisted that though the news on resumption of religious activities was welcoming, ample preparation and strategizing is critical at this time. There is no need to rush in opening the churches this Sunday. So there is, the point here is ample preparation and strategizing, which he says that is critical at this time. And so he says that there is no need to rush in opening the churches this Sunday. We need to plan, train and educate our members. Plan, train and educate our members on how we can effectively implement the protocols so that the church can be the point of reference. Else, things will get out of hands. Now, this is the time to put faith, science and reasoning together. Faith, science and reasoning together. I have known science and religion to be the worst of friends ever. However, I think in these times we need to merge every field of study and understanding for the betterment of our lives. And so it says that we have stayed home for the past 10 weeks, so there is no need to rush. I think we can use this week to prepare and get things in place so that possibly next week service can begin, they urged. Now, touching on aspects of the new guidelines, including holding 1 hour service for 100 congregants maximum at a time, Reverend Powerful, who doubles as presiding bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, admitted that it will be difficult, especially for the bigger denominations, but we do not have an option than to run multiple services. Now, he advised all churches to strictly adhere to the President's directive for the collective good of society. So it goes on and on and on. It speaks about the protocols and all that. But I think these are the very, very key points. Preparation and strategizing. And amongst others, it's talking about merging faith, science, and reasoning together. So there is the issue of planning, training, and education of congregants, that is the church members. Let me speak to you, Mr. Asiodi. Do you think that the easing of the restriction on the church activities or church gatherings came at the right time. Mind you, the cases are in the 8,000s. The recoveries just about 20% of the cases. The deaths were around the 36 or so. Do you think that it came at the right time? And do you think that churches are ready to absorb the congregation back into the temples?
Thank you very much. Let me use this fine day to greet His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo and his good economic management team. We know we are in hard times, and we've been in harder times economically before this period. We've been able to have one of the historical, monumental statements that as a party, we've been able to bring down a dying economy, but we can never revive or resuscitate any dead person. So all the 190 countries in the world with over 190 presidents or head of states, no one or none of them has been able to come out with such a statement. So this tells you how important the human life is to the president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now, church activities has been one of economic activities in the world, because the church itself drives on the various economic stature of its individuals to make its foundation. That's why the Roman Church, the Presbyterian Church, they've all come out with good religious activities, but their revenue have been able to impact into the education of most of the countries that they find themselves in. So Presec is from the Presbyterian Church. You have St. Peter's by the Romans, among others, St. Mary's, all these things.
Mention Adoatv by the Anglican, else
Adoatv by the Anglican, the black and white. The emphatic by the Methodists. So the economic impacts of the religious activities of churches can never be underlined as a non-entity. That's the first point that we should note. Now, the aspect of COVID-19 has come as a way of, one would say, one of its modes of spread is the conjecture nature of humans. And the church as an institution, one can never maybe dispute its nature of worship, because a lot of people come together. So one fundamental reason for really ensuring that we don't spread this COVID-19 has been social distancing. So if there is a need for social distancing, then all institutions that we found human beings to be so much congested in should really adhere to social distancing. Hence, the church banned, other entertainment activities banned, other sports activities banned, among others. So now, if the government or a nation has deemed it fit to really start easing the problem of COVID-19, and by opening some of the economic channels, you know, we open the markets. It's one of the great economic channels for the nation. Now the church is also coming in. We need to, one, go abiding by all the already existing rules. Prior to the church being opened by Friday, starting from the mosque, there have been existing rules and regulations or observations that we need to adhere to. Strictly by the wearing of this nose mask is a key. Providing of the Veronica buckets, the hand sanitizers, the soap for us to wash our hands under running water at least not less than 20 seconds are all keys. Ensuring the social distancing is one of the major measures that we have to really implement. And church activities should be such that we are going to adhere by the social distancing. We shouldn't think of only the money aspect. And now this brings the name of God, excuse me to say, into ridicule, because of the way some pastors or churches prior to COVID-19 had been professing that they have this cure for this aid for that, this for this. Yet, in the face of COVID-19, no pastor or no church or no religious body had been able to say that I've prayed for this COVID-19 person and he has been healed or cured. So the name of God itself has been put into jeopardy in the face of science. Faith has been alienated to the background, which is very sad. Very sad, because the individuals themselves whom we claim to be godly has been seen to be using the word filthy in the face of God. So God is not even hearing our prayers. So if we have the power and the faith as we claim as a church, what have we been able to do in the face of COVID-19? That's why a lot of people, excuse me to say, are not in tandem or in agreement with some of these church openings, because they've seen it at all. Indeed, for the past 10 weeks, as we've not been having any congregational or collective assembly of members, we are going about our individual activities samely. Maybe we are praying in our rooms. Just last week, the Muslims, they had their Eid Mubarak. They had all their 30 days fasting in their rooms. Did the meetings in the mosque that they didn't really enjoy during the COVID-19 affect anything? It is relatively debatable. Okay, but in the face of it, every religious person has gone about its activity peacefully. So now, if we are now asking that the church, the faith, should now be brought back into the face of science, we should not be having that funny attitude. I'm using the word funny attitude because some pastors believe themselves with some parochial and selfish, one would say, acclaiming of things that they don't even have the edge or the power to do.
Right.
Okay, and we are going to see such funny attitudes again during this COVID-19 period that they are going to reopen for them. You know, they can fake out with some people, behave as if they have COVID-19, blah, 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 blah. Come and I'll say, I've laid my hands on you and you are healed.
Is this something that you've realized over time that some pastors fake certain miracles?
They fake a lot of miracles.
Typical was the resurrection issue, where we even had a resurrection challenge on one of our programs, Adoatv, that a pastor claimed to have resurrected something that our president, he's not a pastor, but he says we cannot do. The pastor claimed he had done. Later on, he came out to apologize that it was just a stunt. And so, yes, I can attest to that fact that sometimes what they report to be miracles are just staged. These are things that we do not want in these times. As I said, you're making a very salient point, but our brother from the NDC is in, and so we'll take a detour to make room for him. Keep watching. We'll be right back after this break.
One peswa hono no eho etisenye brodo so ho awoten eho so etisenye o memuna nkasa woten no eho so etisen eni insem bi diko insem bi editie timemufo etipentokwato santene kwoto aba wo hwe ne mo kwan se aka kendifo wo beyi won betumi aboa ama man no etumi etumpon eso akendifo ebegidwa no etena so a na chese sebia so timemufo to a wotua no wode wasa wonsrem insem bi diko insem bi editie we intine ho behia se memende biada wo brabo non kron ewo wudon no so sei ken woni me ebedi ehia ewo Adoatv kasafidie so wo bra ye to nsa afra manyofo a wode amanyosem akoten wona abiahye wonim di ankasa etwetwe nkomo wo bra ye to nsa afra mumahye bedwemni no mensini kracho wo honom ebetutu na no na achesen sema edika editie no ya toto ho sere ene abasa ewo kasafidie eso me a metine dwemu edigimedi ho chiame edi amede so ene political baby face.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African print and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Borges extra virgin olive oil, best for salad dressing. A little of Borges classic olive oil will make delicious meals. Borges with garlic, excellent for your grills. Make your meals healthy with Borges.
I maintain a healthy life with Borges olive oil.
Borges olive oil, the very best always.
I'm very grateful to you for your time. Indeed, you stuck and stayed with us throughout the break from the beginning of the show up until now. And I can't thank you so much and to say God bless you for sticking and staying with us. You're watching the newspaper review segment on AM Ghana. I'm proud and happy to announce to you that Adoatv is now back on your digital television sets. So you just rescan your channels and you would definitely find Adoatv on channels 37 and 38. There may be some variations, yes, there may be some variations based on your television, the specifications of your television as well. Definitely in there you would find Adoatv television, so you can watch us on your digital television stations and not miss anything. We are joined in by our brother from the camps of the NDC, Mr. Malik Adama. Good morning, brother.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. It's unfortunate that you were late. Ejan Ketia was making a complaint. He says that if the NDC doesn't take care and continues coming late, he would take away his allegiance and move it to the NPP. You know, the PPP used to be very, close to the NPP.
They came from the NDC.
Oh, they came from, sorry, yes. They used to be.
From the NDC.
They came from.
Former chairman.
Exactly.
Exactly. And even Francis Essien was once our woman organizer.
Oh, so you know.
Oh, very well.
Very well. So he's now issuing a warning. So let's start. Don't be late. Before you came in, I was having a conversation with Mr. Simon Asidu, and he was speaking on the reopening of churches. Some clergy persons say that we shouldn't rush in opening the churches. Ejan Ketia beside you is a reverend minister, so he will tell us more on that when we get there. Mr. Sidu, you were making a point in a minute to wrap up so that I can speak to Reverend.
Yes, what I'm trying to say is that as a nation or as a people, we shouldn't behave like ostriches, that in the heat of event, we're going to dip our head in the sand and think that we are okay.
Oh, I see. So that's the analogy behind the ostrich.
Yes, that's an analogy. In the heat of event, he will think he's hiding.
So he just dips his head in there, forgetting that the body is
everything is outside. You know what I mean? I see. That's what some of our political opponents are trying to say, that in the heat of the COVID-19, everything should come to a standstill and behave as if we are hiding, whilst the whole of our back is left.
The reality is
left to the spur of the moment. Nice. We're not going to do that. We're going to pull the bull by the horn as a nation, and as the president said, we're now easing the measures in terms of our economic activities, and we're starting it slowly. So now the churches, we know some of you can take over 1,000, 2,000, 1,500, but those with those higher numbers don't take more than 25%. Now, those with some medium numbers, it should be at least 100 people within the church premises. And the service should not be more than an hour. And within that very hour, all the church environs and within should be disinfected and fumigated.
That is before the commencement
of every church service.
Yes.
So first 1 hour service is over, after that, we should ensure the disinfection and the fumigation. It's not only the disinfection, but the fumigation and the Veronica bucket and water at every point in time should be used. The temperature gun is compulsory before you even enter the church premise. And we also ensure the nose mask also being compulsory and your hand sanitizers. And the social distancing very, very, very strictly adhered to. There are going to be monitors who will go around to ensure that all these observations and directives are adhered to. And those who do not comply with them will be sanctioned by having difficult punitive measures against them, if it even have to be banning of those churches.
Wow.
So as the religious sector has been eased, so has been applied to the educational sector, whilst about the final year students of the GSS, final year students of the SSS, and the final year students of the universities have also been given some line or some room to go back to finish their exams or run that.
I don't want us to speak so much on the education.
No.
The minister.
I'm just trying to give room of opening up of the economy.
Right.
And we have done this through the markets and some other few government institutions. I'm saying it has also, the church as a body or the religious body as an institution is a serious economic vehicle.
I see.
We don't have to forget about that.
I see.
Okay, so I'm saying we are opening up the economy. That's the word. The economy has come back to its feet. And from its dying moment, it's coming to a living moment. And we're taking it one step after the other. Right. The entertainment fields will also come and see their review. We are going to bring in the measures about that. The sports field are also going to see their review. And all these things were done in collaboration and in adherence to all the stakeholders in the sports, in the religious, in the entertainment,
but if all these things were done in collaboration with the stakeholders, now you know that for churches, the biggest stakeholders are the reverend ministers and the congregants. Now, how come some clergy, the Christian Council of Ghana, is urging that we shouldn't rush in opening churches? This seems like a direct contradiction or rebuttal to what the president said on Sunday. The president said, "Go ahead." They're saying, "Don't rush."
Yes,
what was the level of stakeholder interaction?
Thank you very much. You see that some of them, I'm using the word some of them, because they feel they have been in hibernation or they have been deprived of their source of revenue or income. Let me use the word. Reverend may side with me or may not. But some of the churches think that 10 weeks that they've not been able to have their congregants or their members coming to them, they've been, somebody will say, denied of their revenue. Some of them will be saying that
those were not the reasons cited by the Christian Council. You saw the reasons.
No.
Adequate planning and strategizing.
I'm just giving you the idea why some of them will be rushing.
Okay, why? Those will be rushing.
They'll be rushing.
Very well, very well.
About 40 churches and their members are into different stages of, one will say, court. Others have even been reprimanded or jailed. You may 4 years, 6 years, because they defy the rules under the COVID-19. They rush to even go to church. Understand? So their leaders are saying Sunday is just around the corner. Do not rush. They do not rush. Say, do not hesitate to just do your things without putting in the original observations that the government or the good president has asked us to follow. Ensuring that one, you have your fumigations, you have your disinfectants. As a church, do you have the number or the quantum of fumigants or disinfectants that you need every church service after the other?
Okay.
That is one point. Now, do you have the number of Veronica buckets? Do you have the number of sanitizers? Are you ensuring that the space, the 2 meters or 1 meter, will be adhered to? What measures will you do to ensure that all these directives will be in tandem with the government directive? That's why we are saying that they shouldn't rush.
I get you now. So the fact that there has been an ease or a go ahead with a capped number of congregants does not necessarily mean that, hey, go ahead and do your thing, because there are measures that has been put in place. And according to Mr. Siedu, there are punitive measures. Yes, the president says that those who do not adhere to this would be dealt with by the law. Now, Ejan Ketia, you are a reverend minister. You belong to it. You have a congregation. You have a church. How ready are you? Do you side with the clergy that says that we should exercise restraint and not rush to open churches, or you side with the other side that is, in dire need of a return back of congregants into the churches? Where do you stand?
Thank you very much. Let me say a good morning to Dr. Indum, and then PPP, the big family, and then my son at Sopon, who is watching me now, and my constituents, and then some PPP members also from. She's also doing well.
Yeah, man.
And then some of my PPP members from Jabusubia, they have been upon sun. They have also been watching me from that far distance there. Yeah. My brother, I agree with the presiding bishop 100% that the president should not be in a rush to open churches.
I'm not sure that he was speaking to the president. I believe that this is an admonition.
No,
to
it was
churches.
like indirect speech. Like you can't talk to the president, but he just out like we shouldn't be in a rush to go to. Do you get me? He can't just make a statement direct to the president, but he has his view like. Exactly. We shouldn't be in a rush. So and I agree with the presiding bishop 100% that we should not be in a rush.
Right.
Because look at the implications involved. And look at the difficulties, and then going to church, like if I have congregant like 2,000 members. For instance, a typical one like Resurrection and this Osofo Boachi Church. I don't know if I've gone there to see the size of the church. The one at Kaswa.
Yes.
Resurrection and Generation Power Osofo Boachi. Look at the size of the church. And he has to have 100 at a time.
Well,
100%.
Mr. Siedu cleared this. It has been myself. It has been an issue for me. But Mr. Siedu, in his submission, I didn't want to ask questions because he just went straight ahead, and I got the understanding. 25% of your congregation. That is, if you can contain them, with bearing in mind the 1 meter, the 1 meter or 2 feet.
25%.
25% of your congregation.
The church, the number keep. Not really. Yes, you can't know the exact number of your
church. There is an average. There is an average. I am a congregant, and
the church keep getting new members, and some also leaving the church. How can you even have a specific that I have this 1,000? A pastor, you can't know, because if you have 1,000 congregants, it's likely some new members will come. So how do you give the 25% of?
Some churches, check the average attendance in order to structure, because some churches rent the chairs amongst other things. So they have data about average. I'm saying average is mathematically calculated amongst other things.
You see,
there is an average.
You see,
that on a regular Sunday, I know special Sundays like Harvest Days, like Easter Sundays, Christmas 31st, people tend to troop in a lot. And even with your average number, it means that you would have to create space for these numbers that may troop in. There are other unforeseen circumstances where you'd have to park chairs outside, sometimes on pavements. I've seen some churches, on pavements, just to accommodate.
My brother, you see, the president cannot keep pleasing people. You get me? The president cannot continuously, because of politics and election and winning favor, keep pleasing people. Do you get me? I agree with the presiding bishop that we shouldn't be in a rush. You see, the Orthodox has their way of worship. Likewise, we the Pentecostals also have our way of worship. We worship with noise. How do you go to church, cover your mouth, and sing praises and worship?
You say you worship with what?
With noise.
Noise?
Yes. Like we clap, we shout when we are praying. Like when you come to my prayer, no, let me be frank
to. It's not like noise, like we are making noise. But what I'm saying is,
but noise is noise. And I'm wondering,
we don't
why
worship.
would you take pleasure in making noise?
We don't worship in
silence.
Yes, in silence. Like the Muslims, they worship in silence. The Orthodox Church, they worship in silence. You go to the maybe the Anglican or you see the
Anglicans, we don't worship.
No, but you as compared to when you compare the Anglican Church or the Catholic Church with the Pentecostal, like when you visit the Anglican Church and you come to Church of Pentecost,
let me make this clear. There is the Catholics, the Anglo and the Roman Catholics. What you deem as worshiping in silence is a solemnness.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Yes, so let's get it right. I don't want you to, because it's like I feel that it's you know, something directed to my side. Do you understand where I belong? Yes, and so maybe you worship or noise. You have the noise aspect, but ours is not silence. It's solemnness.
That is, we all have a way of worshiping God.
Very well,
and that is how we believe it. That when we pray and we jump, we tap from the air.
Okay.
Then all playing with tongues, and then you see some cry use cane to even whip the Satan. So many things goes on.
Where do you see Satan?
It's belief. What I'm saying is belief.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Okay.
So you can't prevent the person from doing whatever you want to do to plead God or to. Do you get me? So all these things comes into play when the president have to consider as to open up the churches. You shouldn't take those people who are putting pressure on you, like open the church, open the church, open the church. Then you go ahead and say, I'm giving you 1 hour. Look at a reverend minister who is having about 2,000 members. He has to, like, the 25% of your congress, as you are saying, comes in. You preach, they go. Another batch come. You preach, they go. You get tired.
But in a typical church, there are priests and sub clergymen. We have
they all get tired. If you have 100 priests, if you have 100 pastors, they all get tired.
25% of 2,000 is 500. So if your congregation can hold 500,
what I'm saying is,
if your chapel can
we
hold
are
500
not in good time.
Yes,
we are not in good time. The inconvenience is too much for the president to come out to ease like 1 hour for church service and 25% or 100 people for it. We are not in good time. The president, what he's supposed to do is to exercise patience. Exercise patience.
Until when?
And let's find a cure for the, how do you call it? The coronavirus. Because I learned some people who were taken to the Pentecost Convention Center. All those who were taken there got healed. Yeah, meaning that God is in the process of healing people. Let's wait. Put measures in place to see that the number is what? Going down. Do you get me? Before we ease this, where are we rushing to? Is it because some of the church members, when they will vote for him or what? That's why you want to plead them and then release this for them to go to church or what? There's no need for the president to announce that go to church with 1 hour. But what an hour? How can you worship God in just an hour? Then you leave the church premises. Then another people come. What about those? No, wait. Those the 100 or the 25% are in. The rest are outside.
Yes.
When you close, there will be some interaction. Good. Is it not the same infection that we are talking about?
That's a point. Now, that's a point that we need to look at, because obviously with the easing of this restriction, the 25% would mean large numbers. We know some churches that have thousands of congregations. Now, let's say 25% of 1,000, that is 250, is going, is migrating into the church. Mind you, whilst the first batch is exiting, the second batch will be waiting to get inside. There'll be interaction. There'll be, what are the measures that are put in place to ensure that some of these things are curtailed? Because some, the practice of using the face mask and some hygienic practices is not really adhered to, especially when we meet in crowds. Most cases, people tend to forget that there should be the use of these things. And so that is one point that I'm really looking forward.
So, no, the question I'm also asking is the Reverend Minister who is going to preach, is he going to put on a nose mask?
Yes.
He's going to put on a nose mask. How do you preach with a nose mask?
But I can tell you're speaking with your nose mask on.
You know, my brother, you see, the inconvenience is too much that
you shouldn't allow such a thing to be debated. We don't need to sit here and debate on this issue.
In other words,
the inconvenience is too much. How can the Reverend Minister stand at the pulpit and then be wearing nose mask to be preaching? No. Yes, sir.
Is your church ready?
You see, I have a small number.
Okay.
I have a small number. You know, my church we just started, so I have a number. So I don't have problem with meeting my church members. In fact, I've
not just meeting them, but with observing the rules that have been laid down. When Mr. Malik is done with his submission, I will take us through the 26 points that the Minister for Religious and Chieftaincy Affairs issued out yesterday evening. Yes, exactly.
No, my members are ready.
I'll take all of us through it so that we realize those peculiar points.
They are ready to wear the nose mask. They are ready to wash their hands, use the sanitizer. They are ready for all the... Are you
ready to provide them with the Veronica buckets?
They are ready
to... Fumigation and disinfection.
We are all ready to...
Okay. But so you do not have a problem?
I don't have, because I have a small number. So I don't have a problem with the 1 hour. Okay. In fact, I do service for just 2 hours on Sundays.
Wow.
So the 1 hour, I told them just a short sermon, then the rest will be like we have to pray and then leave the praise. Right. But with those with the bigger numbers, and they are they are going to face a whole lot of challenges.
Very well.
Let's see how it goes.
All right.
Let's see how it goes.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a Christian as well.
No, I'm a Muslim.
You're a Muslim. I'm happy that I have a Muslim here as well. How do you worship? Is your worship solemn? Is it silent? Or there is some noise making?
No, we don't make noise.
You don't make noise. Yes. But would you call it a silent worship?
I may say not that silent, because when it comes to the evening, Isha Magharibi and Isha Lanes, our leader, he recites the prayers, but not in a loud, it isn't that loud. Yes. He recites in a manner that the congregation will hear.
Would hear.
Yes.
So noise making is void.
It's out of it.
Right. Okay. Now, how prepared is the Muslim or the Islamic religion in Ghana? How prepared are they? I know this is for the Christian Council, but let's
shouldn't tackle the Christian.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying that let's try to assimilate, the Islamic bit into the general topic and see if we can pick something out of it.
Thank you. Let me first say good morning to the former president and the chairman of the NDC. Good morning to yourself, my colleague and reverends. Yes. Well, with the directive that came on Sunday, well, some of us knew the president will automatically ease some of the restrictions. Some of us, based on
stakeholder consultations,
even following the conversation of the president as well as those in government, we realized that at least they will ease some of the restrictions. But I'm against the religious aspect of the restriction that has been released.
I see.
And I have my reasons.
Okay.
Good. He said 25%. And you know, only 400, 25% of 400 is 100. So if we should even go by the 25%, that means people who have beyond 400, 25% is more than the 100 that the president even said.
Exactly.
So if it's 100, let's say 100. Look at church such as Action, Central Gospel, Lighthouse. Their congregation are huge. So these 100, who will come and who will not attend? Are they going to select those who come? Even some of these churches, the singing choir, they are up to close to that 100, only the singing choir. Some of them, the ushers and the pastors, as well as few
church workers.
Church workers are even up to this 100. So I thought those things should have held them for some time.
Mr. Dama, before you continue, I don't know if I can tap into your opinion a little bit with the suggestion that Mr. Siedu indicated that the 25%. Now, let's get this thing clear.
Yes.
Initially, myself, I was confused because there was a mention of a 25% and then there was a mention of a cap, 100.
Yes.
So I kept on asking myself, you're using the cap.
Yes.
But mind you, there is a 25% as well.
Contradiction between use 25, now use cap.
I don't think it's a contradiction anymore. If Mr. Siedo is correct, then it means that churches that can afford to host the 25% maximum of your total congregation, so with the observation of the 1 meter or 3 feet rule, then you can go ahead.
So if I should understand, it simply means it will defeat the 100 people no, because if you have, let's say, 1,000 congregation, and the 25% of 1,000 is going to give you 250.
Yes.
So you can
now let me
accept the 250 as a congregation and ignore the
$250
or 300
exactly with
the social distancing maintained among us.
I hope you understand now. And in other cases, the 100 means that for a church like Ejankitia's church, which is not too big, if you are more than 100, then it means that keep your 100 for now. If you would want to hold, maybe you're 150, you can't keep 150 in the church. Keep 100, and then you do another service for the 50 if you can. That is basically how it should be going.
That's how it's been good. Let's come to my reasons.
Right.
You know how churches, as the Reverend said, churches operate. You know, churches operate when they are in spirit. You know, as he said, they make noise. Not they make noise, but they dance.
Exactly.
You understand? They sing, they shout, they are happy in the mood. They forget themselves. Sometimes they even hug themselves. They go, they boogie, they do all.
There'll be some deliverance service, and then people fall. People
so they do a lot of things, even forgetting themselves. So to me, though some of the pastors are crying financially just because the churches have locked down, but I thought first, the measures that the government said we should put in place, that is the fumigation, that is, what is the name?
Inconvenience.
I agree. Those things should have been encouraged first. Should have been encouraged first. And then we wait for another month and see how the pandemic is faring in the world. And then because you've used this month to give a directive, what should be done, what not to be done, so that we monitor up to the 31st of June, and then see how it will work, the pandemic in the world, because all countries are easing their restrictions. So if all things be equal, then these measures comes in. That was my opinion. With the mosques, we are quite different from the Christian side of it, because we normally stand, we spend at most 5 minutes, we are done. Or even less sometimes. We are done with our prayers at most, unless fasting time. That there's one particular prayer that we spend close to 30 minutes. And everybody can send that small mat, that woolen mat, small one, it's called sujada. You can send yours with the distancing as sitting here. Sitting here.
I mean, the mat in itself already provides some distance because it's one to a mat.
One is to one. You understand? 1 is to 1. And the performance is just about 5 minutes. It's not even up to the 5 minutes sometimes. And you are done, you go. So those ones, the measures can't work out. They are possible. And then you can do your ablution in the house before you come, as he said. Even when you come there, you can decide to use pure water or your own water.
Right.
You understand? Yes. When you are entering, you can just use the sanitizer, which will be at the gate. You use it before you enter. When you are done, you go. Right. So those ones, I think the remedy is literally effective as compared to church. You understand? When you look at it in the face, it's literally...
I understand because yes,
how church is being
at the mosque. Some of these measures are being observed. Washing of hands, yes, it's already there.
Yes, but washing of hands, when you wash your hand, and then let's say the disease is here, and you touch it, you still have it. Am I correct? Yes, but when you use the sanitizer, and it's there, and you touch it, you don't get it. Is it correct? So I prefer more of the sanitizer than the washing of the hands. So if you even have the Veronica basket, you should still have the sanitizer aside. So you wash, you sanitize your hand. So when you enter, though your hand is clean, you've washed the dirt and then the germs, you've sanitized your hand. When you enter and you even touch it, because you've sanitized your hand, no, your hand is safe. So I prefer even the sanitization as compared to the Veronica basket matter. So in all, I thought President should have waited a bit. Though he was looking at people are crying because of the pastors, no money, because I heard somewhere that even some pastors borrow money to pay for their workers. I don't know whether it's been heard.
Yes,
pastors borrow money. But this is not the time.
It's not the time.
I agree. But no, this is not the time. We should have waited a bit, especially the church aspect. We should have waited a bit, literally, so that we look at ahead how it's going to look. My opinion, early stage, when those places, when the churches and everywhere was locked up, I thought markets and coast will be open, though they were not fully locked, just because man must survive. That is one. And other places that, without those places, we cannot live. Essential places, those ones must open. But when it comes to churches and co, I thought we could have waited when we get the vaccine, or we are in the process of getting the vaccine.
Or reducing the number.
Thank you. Or reducing. Let's say when we are making progress, positive progress, good. When we're making the progress, then we bring all these things. Because when you bring them, and then in case it spread in Krana, we have a solution to mitigate them. Right. So I thought we could have looked at them, even if it would take 6 months for us to suspend them for some time. I believe, though the pastors, it may be hard financially, but one way or the other, they will also understand that life is important than cash. You have life, you have the cash, you have everything. So they will feel it, but one way or the other, they will also understand.
Very well. Now, that is a very good call by the Christian Council. Yeah. I personally think that the fact that the president has, eased the restrictions in what is termed as a phase 1 of the ease of restrictions, I think that we should also check ourselves as individuals to ascertain if we are ready. And as individuals, I'm talking about the religious bodies as individuals to ascertain whether we are ready to embark on these exercises. Indeed, if you are not ready, do not rush to facilitate these eased measures that have been laid out. But you want to say something?
Yes, I absolutely agree with you, especially the big churches. Yes. To me, they shouldn't even operate. Who should come, who shouldn't come?
Right.
Yes, the big churches, they shouldn't even operate. Okay. They should hold on. Just because even controlling will become a little difficult. You understand? So I think they should even hold on. Okay. And also there should be education. If you think you can't adhere to those measures, hold on. Right. If you think you are not ready to adhere to those measures, hold on. When you are ready, then you proceed. Just because you've been already given the green light of some number of people that you should operate with.
Very well.
But if you are not ready, or you think you cannot put some measures in place, hold on. Whenever you are ready, then you proceed. I think those advice should be made clear.
Thank you.
And individuals, those who are going to the church, we should advise them and talk to them in the manner that their life matter. Right. Individual life.
Yes, matter. And so this will take me back. You're speaking about sensitization of the congregants.
Yes.
Yes, and there is an admonition that the churches should spend the first 5 minutes or 5 minutes of their 1 hour. That means they'll be left with 55 minutes. Spend 5 minutes to educate the congregants on COVID-19 and preventive measures, all about COVID-19. That is the admonition from the government. Some Christians who also form part of the EC are hardly kicking against or, lamenting about, first of all, the duration of operation that has been allocated these two entities, which are very key and important to the life of a nation. I'm talking about the political administration and the religious administration of a country. To the religious aspect, there is a cut 1 hour, but to the political aspect, there is an unlimited time. And even out of the unlimited time, there is no point where an allocation is being admonished to be given out to voters on COVID-19 education. This is the conversation going on. How do you feel about this? Let's just use three minutes to
thank you very much.
Finish this one.
You know, in the case of the churches, you could see that we are in confinement. In the case of the EC, it is in the open air.
Yes.
Do you understand? And in the open air, we're going to allow the 1 meter or the 3 feet distancing. So all that instead of the heydays or the olden times that we queue like sardines back to back or in queues to really vote or really register, this time it's not going to be that. We're going to be at arm's length. That's the difference. Now, we also not put any mark or threshold in the case of the EC because that's a national assignment. The churches are relatively different, or somebody will say private issues. But with the EC, it's a national assignment. And we have an obligation. But come what may, by 20 December, 7th December, there should be an election, national election. So we are doing everything possible that in the face and the challenges and the strenuous measures that as a nation we are facing in view of this COVID-19, as a people, we should also be ready to take issues as they come and see how best we can forge ahead.